Nine o'clock, call the meeting to order. All rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Vice Phil.
Here.
Treasurer Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hopping.
Here.
Trustee Osling.
Here.
Myers is absent.
And as a note to the absent, she is in canvassing from the last election at the county. All right, very good. Any Zoom? Nobody. Okay, very good. So now's the point in time for the agenda for comments on the agenda items. And I do intend to add two more, so I'll open it up again once we do that, but nothing?
Nope.
Okay, very good. So before we do the approval of the agenda for discussion today, I propose that we add number 10. This is the Higgins Lake Foundation grant application for the purposes of the Sovereign Park Neighborhood Demo Map Project. That'd be number 10. Number 11 is we got the township audit the last day or two. It came in a couple days ago, and I'm going to have Treasurer Anderson point out the highlights of those things for us as a board. And so that's all that I have for additions or corrections to the agenda. Does any other board member have a item they would like to place on the agenda before I ask for an approval of the agenda as amended? Nope. Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to accept the agenda with the amendments that I stated. Anybody willing to make that? I'll make that motion. Thank you, Jim Anderson. Support. Board Trustee Osling. Any further discussion, board?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. I will ask one more time. Since we added the two pieces at the bottom, 10 and 11, is there any comments in the public about those agenda items before we begin? Okay. I see, Greg, your chair is over there. Yeah, no problem. I put it over there in case you wanted to try it out. Yeah, you bet. So number one, building and zoning. Jason, please. The floor is yours, sir.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. I'm just here to answer any questions you might have regarding the split application for Jim Witt.
Okay. Would you give us just a brief description?
Sure. So he owns two 20, I believe they're 20-acre parcels that butt against each other, and there's a 2.5-acre kind of oddly shaped cutout in one of those 20 acres, and his son's buying that, and he's going to build a pole barn and needed a little bit more room, mainly because of that power line runs through that property. And so he's cutting off a small section to the north, a section that runs along the power line at an angle, and then a triangle section to the south, and combining it all to that 2.5-acre piece.
So perhaps the most relevant picture is the last picture, and the dotted line
Yes,
depicts what
he's
the
adding.
creation would be
Yeah.
that he's proposing
Yeah.
from that acreage
Correct.
to accomplish what he's trying to do.
Correct.
Okay. Board, any questions on that particular lot split at all? And are you comfortable with forwarding it to Tuesday for an action?
Jason actually went over that with me
Okay.
in my office a week ago, and I don't have any issue. I understand now why they did that bottom part, because they need the setbacks
Correct.
for building.
Yeah.
But lot of paperwork for an attorney, but from my perspective, I don't see an issue with it.
I did also on my copy of the application, Julie Tatro has signed off on it.
Yeah.
That was my, that was my next question.
No new, no new property IDs or anything. It's just a adjustment. to
He's already had it surveyed.
Yeah.
So he's got new, property descriptions for all the pieces.
Yeah.
The upper 20, the new one he's creating, and then that lower 20 that's all having something removed. He's gotten all new descriptions already done for that.
Okay, for the motion to potentially approve it, are we using the one taxpayer ID number? What is the motion to, if we were to approve the lot split
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would use the one that's listed on the application there.
proposed by the owner, James Witt,
Yep.
and the taxpayer ID?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Is there any other questions you have for Jason on the regular monthly report?
Nope.
Nope.
I see that we're generating more and more business through the credit card. I noticed that
Yes.
it's very,
People are definitely utilizing it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
Hang on board. I'm just trying to catch up here with the. Okay, we're on to the marina update. I don't see Russ here. You all did get the marina report, and probably the item of value we need to discuss the most. I mean, obviously we got it. It looks like things are, the weather picked up for them over there. And I don't know what else to say. He's running right in line with what we normally do, if you will. There's a 4.8, the net sales are 172, 148, and that was 26 to date, and the 2025 is 164, 150 with a 4.87 positive change. So it's seems to be doing fine. The fuel sales, just I guess overall noted, they're down about 2.57, which
Well, that's in gallons.
That's
The reason that your
yeah.
dollar amounts are higher is
I was just going to explain.
it's
it.
the cost of
Exactly.
the
Yes.
price of gas. Is
Price
higher.
of gas, correct.
So it's
In there, and if so, I guess I don't see anything alarming. The boat slip fees. I know that we have been talking about this. When I say we, I know Jim Anderson and I have been talking about it since the special assessment district from the county on the lake level control structure. We mid-budget, obviously, we had to pay our lakefront on our marina for the SAD lake level control structure, and of course had to pay Gerrish Park's frontage down there as well. And so Russ has got a proposal here to cover the county assessment and the general operating cost increases, meaning probably your CPI. He proposes following increases for boat slip, launch and go service and PWC spaces. He's proposing boat slips and indoor launch and go. There's 162 total, of $100 increase. New rate proposed would be $1,900 for Gerrish Township property owners, $2,200 for non-property owners. Outside launch and go and PWC spots, 18 of those, a $50 increase. Those proposed increases will generate $17,100 in additional revenue. And he's looking for approval of these so that we can obviously begin preparing the 2027 contracts for the next boating year season. So I'll open that up for comments, board. Jim, Anderson, I'm going to give you the first crack at it. You and Michelle actually paid the bills for those things.
Yeah, but this is not just, I don't want to just put it all on that special assessment, but it's been a while since they've increased those fees. So there's just a natural, cost of doing business that we got to consider. I did talk to Russ last spring when we had to pay those because it's unknown if we're going to have additional assessments as we go. Yeah, it's likely if they do anything with the dam that they will. So the if logic goes that would be a place to put that cost because those are the direct result of the use versus the expense to the county, but also just the fact that it's cost of doing business is going up too. Putting the docks in and out and all that. This year we had increased costs because of the high water. So I tasked that to Russ. And I said, you come up with it, come bring back the proposal, and then the board will consider it and then ratify it at the meeting if nobody has a problem with it. So I'm comfortable with what he came up with. We have a long list of people that are wanting slips. We had a few that grumbled this year about whether they want to spend that money. I think they only ultimately, when it got all done, there was only 3 that didn't renew their slips. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, it looked like it all made sense to me. I wondered the margins on the fuel. Price of fuel is up, of course, and the gallons are down. The price of the product is up, but the revenue is up too. So it must be the higher margins, or
I don't really monitor his day-to-day pricing. I know he uses the competitive pricing around the lake, so it's not like we're selling it below market. It's supposed to be at market. So there's less gallons and more money, and that's just if you go to the gas station, you understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mary Jo, any comment? Well, I'm not going to be as easy on it. An assessment is an assessment.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm not going to be as easy on that topic. These are costs that thrust upon us from the outside. I do worry for the future, meaning that, it is simple to raise the fees. When I say simple, at some point there's got to be a market cap somewhere. I don't know where that's going to be, but I got a hunch. You'll find out at some point. And I do agree with you that there has been a very long waiting list. In fact, they weren't taking any more for the waiting list. You said this year 3 people started making what I call the economic decision.
Well, some of them are just they aged out or whatever. But
I listen, I understand the need for the increases and I have to support those at this time. And, we, in order to continue to operate, and we have no idea still, here we said, it's now going into August, and we don't have any idea where we're at with regards to potential exposure to another, other than I haven't heard any more rumblings, and there are requirements to do a special assessment if the county intended to do a special assessment. Again, I don't see Commissioner Morley here. I would ask her, but so I don't know whether we're going to face that again next year or whether that's going to be a next year mid-budget. And I think the only way to insulate yourself from next year's potential mid-budget is you're going to have to at least, shall we say, I guess,
Budget for it.
CYA.
If,
Every
if
buck.
nothing else, you can look at it like what you're saying. By assessing this, it puts us back to the same level of profitability that we were prior to.
That's all you're doing.
And so it's not,
No,
and I would agree, if somebody was to ask me, the premise behind my thought on this was directly as a result of that special assessment.
sure. CPI is CPI.
Did Russ say
get
anything
that.
about what the other market on the slip rentals are? What?
We didn't really get into that discussion, but I know there's a couple hundred people that jump on one of these right now, so.
Well, I'm assuming the other opportunities, they've probably went up too. If they have a special assessment that's hit them,
So
so.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you went to B and B or one of the other places and asked, but I didn't even consider that. I just know what market we've got, the clientele we've got.
Mhm. Yeah.
I know we're not at that peak yet, so, and like, again, like Brian said, it's a direct result. And we would have considered this. I talked about it last year, but
Mhm.
that special assessment definitely was the premise behind we should do this because we should be falling behind.
You can't fall behind. It's the gift that keeps giving if you fall behind. So.
Right.
Okay, are you comfortable to move this forward to Tuesday to approve these, so that there's plenty of, available time for the 2027 contract notification?
Wouldn't,
And,
Okay.
or do you want to ruminate on it for another month? What's your thoughts?
I'd like to have this passed because it's August.
Yeah.
They send out those notices in September. So Lori needs that information. Russ does.
Yep.
So if we make a motion, to do this on Tuesday, do you need something from Russ, or are you willing to pick it off of his report, here? And we can use this as our document that we're making the decision off of. What's your pleasure?
This is fine with me.
Mhm.
Yep, fine with me.
Good.
Okay. Obviously, if you have any individual questions for Russ, I'd get a hold of it if you need to.
He's just looking for our guidance. He wants to get started on next,
Okay,
the billing.
all right. Sadly enough, yes. All right, on to number 3 then. If you guys are all done with that, board, you done with that issue?
Yep.
Yep, I am.
Sergeant Ellis is here with us this morning, for some highlights, I think, of the PD. I don't know whether there's any particular asks. When I reviewed it, it didn't look like it. Probably more informational.
Yeah,
Yep.
not so much to add.
Okay, very good.
Chief turned in his report and it's all pretty much in there. If you guys have any questions, I can answer any questions you might have on it, but
All right.
other than that,
Right.
nothing else to report.
It's pretty copious. I think probably the most notable, obviously, and I know that Treasurer Anderson and myself were interviewed by the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police, MLEAC accreditors, which is Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Council, I think it is. And our police department had a very successful
Yes, we did.
on-site visit from the accreditation folks. And I believe it's just now got to go to the full board, which will be done down in Mount Pleasant, September 2nd and 3rd for the hearings. And I think we're probably going to get an accreditation.
We will
which
be
is
an
a
accredited
huge
agency
feather in
at
the
that
cap of the police department. And we look forward to that. I look forward to it. Certainly was an impetus for my wife not retiring earlier, but
That's true.
I look forward to having that off her plate. So that one I just didn't want to let go undone. John, is there anything else on here you don't want to let go undone?
No, that's it. Again, a special thanks to Julie Hill.
Yep.
Without her, I would have been a task.
Yeah.
Impossible. But she handled everything and we did very well on the onsite. So
And for those in the audience and YouTube watchers later on, that's a 3-year, if you get granted it. And it's quite a feather. There's, in the cap there. There's a little over 100, I think,
That's
now
cool.
out of 600 or so, 600 and some odd that have achieved this status, which is just an amazing thing for our community. Ensures proper operation, policy, procedures. And during that 3-year period, there's an ongoing, you got to submit video snippets. of
That's right.
certain
Proof,
things
yeah,
showing
proofs
that
for
you
all of
indeed
our-
are
that's
following
correct.
all the policies correctly, right down to yellow vests.
Yellow vest
On
at
traffic scenes.
traffic duty. That's correct.
That kind of type is, and you know,
Yep.
I mean, just right on down through
Yep.
anything you can think of. So,
Yeah.
and so the department showed very well, and I think that reflected, I know, in my interview with them, and I think they were pretty convinced. And Jim interviewed as well. We also had our attorney show up for his interview, which was fabulous. We had other people. We'll find out all the people that may have sent in letters regarding it. And we'll find that out in September, I
Letters
think.
and emails,
Should
yeah.
we get
Yep.
accredited?
That's
And,
correct.
I don't think there's anything that withstands it. But,
No, yeah, no, we're right.
but
on
it is a
track.
process. So
That's true.
thank you, and our thanks from the board on my behalf. I want to say thank you to everybody over there for achieving this.
Thank you very
It
much.
sets us well apart. It does also make it that to work here is probably a little more difficult than it is to work elsewhere.
Yeah,
because you're under
absolutely.
Very
Yeah.
high standards here.
Yep.
And I don't apologize for anybody for losing people that might not want to fit into that, but that's not the officer
It's not the department we run.
we're looking for, right?
Right.
Yeah. So thanks, John.
Thank you.
Many thanks passed along to Chief Mashinsky too.
Thank you.
Board, anybody else before he?
Nope.
Okay, John.
Thanks.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for good work.
Thank you, John. Chief Gilliam, Fire and EMS number 4.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Our floor is yours.
So first, I know I put in there the recommendation for paid on call firefighter Matt Zaratsky. I'm looking for board approval for that on Tuesday night. A little history on Matt. Matt Zaratsky has over 20 years of experience in the fire service. He worked for Richfield for a very long time. He ended up being their assistant chief. He was their training officer. He actually revamped their training program before he left. He left because he moved out of the area. Him and his wife are now living in Lyon Township over off of Town Line Road, and they are part owners in the South State Park store. He retired from Lear quite a few years ago, and I'm excited to bring him on. I think with his years of experience and his leadership, he's also fire officer 1, 2, and 3. So he's got a lot of experience. I think he'd be a really good asset to our team. So if anybody has any questions about Matt.
So, no EMS.
He used to be an EMT. He's actually considering going back and getting his EMT again. So he may become an EMT, and if he does, that's great. It's one more asset for us.
Okay, I'm just writing the motion.
you're good.
Contingent. Physical. Drug test. Screening. I know Matt
Okay.
very well. I know the family very well, and that's a fantastic, I think,
I think so too.
in our department. The
Agreed.
fact that he lives on Hillsdale, I think is it's just a borderline, basically. Essentially, it's just right.
Hillcrest.
Oh, Hillcrest. That's
Hillcrest.
what I meant. Sorry,
Yes.
Hillcrest. It's
Yep.
just a borderline.
Yep.
Out off of 202. So I think it makes him certainly available close
It
by.
would be really nice to
The
have somebody else on
experience
that side of the lake.
that he brings to the department, I think
Yeah.
is awesome. And I'm happy to hear that he was interested in our department. So,
Absolutely. So, I'm going to point out too, we've had a very busy month. July, we ran more calls in July this year than we have over the last few years. We did have to turn over 2 EMS calls. We turned over 2 EMS calls because our ambulances, both of them at the time, were out on calls in our township. One of which not only was both our ambulances out, but I think we cleared out the entire bay for fire calls too. So we had nobody left to take calls. on the one day. We just were super busy, so we had to turn over 2 calls. We did not turn over calls because we were in somebody else's township. We were legitimately servicing our own community, so can't do anything if you don't have any call or any trucks left in your bay. So 4th of July for us at South State Park was pretty uneventful. Law enforcement was way busier than we were. We didn't have any transports out of the park. We had a couple of scrapes and a couple incidences we evaluated, but nothing major. I think for next year, we may reevaluate our coverage for the park. I don't think that we're going to have to empty out our entire, both ambulances and fire trucks to be down there. We may cover it a little bit differently. But it went well. We did the Weight We Carry Walk for the Red on July 18th and 19th, a 2-day walk between Houghton Lake and Higgins Lake. It was a total of 52 miles in 2 days, 114,000 steps. We raised over $13,000 for firefighters with cancer. Now that it's public knowledge, we will tell you there is a gentleman on Denton Township Fire who is dealing with cancer right now. So he was one that we were doing the walk for. We've had one in Markey Township the year before. We had one in Lake Township a couple years back. So we're bringing this up here because we have our own that are struggling. So I said I wasn't going to do it, but after this walk this weekend, seeing the response that we got from Tim Bartholomew with his cancer and the guys that came up here and walked that struggle with cancer, and 52 miles was tough. It's a very humbling experience to see. You never think that 52 miles is that big of a deal. It's not a big deal. It is. The conversation I had with Ryan, he was a retired battalion chief for Dearborn. He had throat cancer twice, and Neighbors United helped him twice. He became part of the organization. And while we were walking, I said, I give you a lot of credit. This is hard. I don't know how you do it. He said, you know what else is hard? You know what else sucks? It's cancer. He's like, I will do this any opportunity I get if it helps somebody else with cancer. So unfortunately, it tugged at my heartstrings. We all know that I'm a big advocate for first responders when it comes to mental health. So I figure I do it that way. I might as well jump in full body here if it's going to be physical, mental, whatever it is. So I am now the liaison for Roscommon County for Neighbors United. So this walk is going to be my baby basically every year from here on out. So I will be doing the fundraising, and I will be the one that's going to lead it and make this happen every year. So I wasn't intending on doing it, but I kind of feel like this is something that it's my thing. I mean, I can't help it. 232 was out of service again for a short stint. We took it to Richardson Ford because when I'm done with Crapo and Mount Pleasant, they seem to not really do a very good job. When we took it to Richardson Ford, they found the transmission was extremely overfilled, which shouldn't have happened. They took a heat shield off and left one dangling. When we had this approved by Ford Pro, they knew we were taking heat shields off because it was supposed to help with the wires overheating. However, nobody mentioned the fact that it's going to cause a transmission overheat. Heat shields were put back on. I've been in constant contact with Ford Pro. We did open a new lemon law investigation on 232. However, she called me yesterday to inform me that we do not qualify because it's considered a commercial vehicle. So I told her that I wanted that in writing. So I'm still waiting for that in writing. They have covered the tow bill that it cost us to take it down to Richardson Ford. And as of right now, it sounds like they're going to cover the entire repair expense from Richardson Ford as well. So there was no repair cost on our part. Richardson Ford is in Standish. It's like, I think it's about 6 miles further than it was Mount Pleasant, but I will tell you, it seems a lot closer. They've been very easy to deal with. They actually brought our ambulance back to us. They told us in the future, if we have any issues, they will actually come pick up our ambulance for us without cost and bring it back without cost. It's a courtesy they do for municipalities. They've been really easy to deal with. They've been in contact with me regularly about the ambulance, asking questions, getting information. It's a complete different experience than it was when we took it to Crapple and Mount Pleasant. So I'm actually very happy and pleased with the service we're getting from them. Our annual agency and ambulance inspection is actually happening today. Brandon's down there working on that right now. This is important. We have to pass this inspection in order to keep our ambulance running. We've never had an issue in the past, and I don't foresee us ever having an issue. So I'm not worried about that very much. August 8th is our open house from 11 to 3. I know there's a lot of things going on that day. I know there's the golf outing, there's the Help Higgins Lake thing. But if anyone's available, please stop by and visit. We'd love to see everybody. We had a drone call out, our first one since we got the drone back in South Branch about a week or so ago for a missing tuber. We got the drone, and before we got it out in the air, they ended up finding the guy, so we didn't actually get to use it. But we do know that it's back in service. The other agencies know it's back in service, and they've been training and updating what they need to do for the drone. So other than that, I don't have anything else to tell you. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to go back to my training that I'm sitting in.
Thank you.
So,
Good.
all right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Chief. Number 5, Health of Higgins Lake, an update. Jim, I don't know. I mean, you can give us a brief update. We are going to specifically talk about in number 10, the grant
Yeah.
piece. So
I
got it,
just
Jen?
got Jenny's report this morning. I printed it, and so it's very thorough. Maybe I just go down through it real quick just to touch on a
Sure.
couple things, but there's a lot more in it.
Perfect.
The one of the things that they've been working on is through the communications committee is this geofencing campaign, and I don't know an awful lot about it, but it's a program where when people enter the area, drive into the area, they will trigger on their devices, their cell phones, the notice that they've come to that area, and then this program pushes out messages that we develop and sends it out to people. People that are on the water. I guess I won't go into the details of it. There's others that can talk to it much better than me. But if there's people out on the water looking for, where there's a restroom on the lake, that kind of information is available through this geofencing. If there's an activity going on and they're driving up 75 and they come in, get off over here, all of a sudden they can get, if they allow notices, push notices, then they will be notified that there's Help the Higgins Lake project is going on this weekend. Come on out. Here's what we're doing. And they'll hear that. So
Must
So
be an
that's-
must be an application then, an app.
yeah, actually, yeah. I didn't think it was. I thought it automatically hits your notifications, and I don't know, you must be able to turn that off. You got to be able to. So
I'm sure it
that
sounds like an
feature off
Android
without
app,
turning
very
off
similar to
notifications.
what
Yep,
we.
I like it.
Well, remember you guys, I text my gov. I talked to you guys all
Yeah.
about that for us, and we decided not to do it. But it sounds like they may be using something similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see the note on here too that, and I heard this the other day, is that they're having some issues getting this up and running just like they want to. So they're working on that now until that becomes a real reality. We went to the property associations meetings. They not me. Oh, I did one of them, but the communications committee is going around all the associations around the lake and talking about the health of Higgins Lake and letting them know what we do. And I, for example, went to Pine Woods last weekend and spent half an hour, I guess, talking about what we're doing. So those are all taken. Obviously, coming up Ed has created and refined this Higgins Lake watershed information map, which is showing all the density of the properties around the lake and what the health department knows about it. You've probably seen this map before. We're going to feature that this weekend at the Health of Higgins Lake project. Road ends continue to meet, and we're sort of spinning off the fertilizer committee to separate the two, and fertilizer going one direction, and the road ends are still finishing up the last of their information that for their final report. The science committee continues to meet, and septic continues to meet, and we have our next meeting would have been next week, and we have essentially instead of us having a meeting, we're meeting jointly with actually the planning commission has taken our time spot to review the septic ordinance at their next review of the ordinance at their next meeting next week. So that continues to move forward. I talked to Chairman Barber, the planning commission, in the last couple of days, a couple of times, and we're working questions back and forth about how that's all coming together. So water well tests are moving along pretty good, and they had to order a bunch more testing kits because they ran out. On the Be Well Wise, there's a demonstration map. I guess we'll get to that. That's elsewhere on the agenda. data update. We have new data. So it's a lot of stuff going on. It's just updates on, and if Celebrate Higgins Lake is on the agenda someplace or not, I don't think it is, but it's this weekend. And I think it's going to be a real, it's going to be a pretty decent event. We've got about at the marina, in the lobby of the marina, we've taken that over with all of what we're doing. And we got about 10 tables in there with tables for all of the committees, the invasive species, the health, or the Higgins Lake Foundation and the HLPOA will both be there. There's going to be videos on the recent dive work that the HLPOA sponsored, and HLF Foundation will be there with information about Be Well Wise and invasive species. Big update on everything that we're working on. If you want to find out anything about the health of Higgins Lake, everything will be there. We've got people from the Hill Muskegon watershed going to be there. And thanks to our treasurer, we're going to have some incredible entertainment while we're there. So
That's what I heard. What I heard this morning.
So,
Yeah.
so if you can get there, I know there's a lot of other stuff going on too. It's a very busy day with the golf outing, and the fire department's got their open house. So it's a good day to just spend it at festivals. So come on around.
Okay.
I
Board, any
probably missed
questions?
something, but that's the majority of it. So
Board, any questions on that?
Well, besides the tables of information, there's also kids games.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and the live music and, pardon me?
Some boat scavenger hunt?
Boat scavenger hunt. Yep. Boat scavenger
Did you
hunt. You
choose
can
to
sign up for
participate?
that. And I think it's a matter of I only caught pieces of it, but it sounds like it's pretty, it's an app that you put on your phone, I guess. And off you go in the scavenger hunt. And then there's a kid scavenger hunt right on site too. So
And a bounce
bounce house,
yeah,
bounce house.
food, hot dogs and
It's kind of like county fair.
ice cream. Yeah.
Without the smell.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Board, anything else for Jim on the health of Higgins Lake update there? Hearing none, we'll move on then. Jim, thank you for all your work on that with that group. And
Thanks to Jenny here. She, like I said, I just got this, she beat the door down to make sure the committee members has got their reports in time for this meeting. So good for Jenny.
Yep.
All right, very good. Number 6, Parks and Recreation date. I don't have a report from
Oh,
Parks and
that's
Recs.
unusual.
Any come in at all? Are you aware of, Michelle, or? Okay, can you?
Nope, everything's good. The park on Carlos seems bathrooms are all
Yeah, it's
working good.
a work in progress.
Yeah, and Jill stays on, we had to buy a couple more volleyballs. That's normal. Marina they take care of that park over there, and
Yeah, on the repair list this past month, they've had 2 blockages, and the second time resulted in, I guess, once the plumber got there the first time, it had alleviated itself. And then the second time we contacted the septic hauler, and they came down and it was blocked, and there were some roots apparently involved. And resulting in obviously clearing that, which was by a whole bunch of undesirable things that were placed in our toilets. Yeah, I guess you can't fix that element of human condition, I guess. And they pumped it as well. They did recommend that it gets pumped every year from here on out. So made arrangements with the carrier to do that before May 15th each year, before the opening, so that we maybe dodge some of those things. And obviously that falls right down into the number 10 that Jim and the group is looking at with Sovereign Park. It's situationally involved down there with a very low level, tight packed water table that's very I don't want to say. It's as full as you'll find anyways, up higher, so. But anyways, that's what it was. So, does anybody else have any questions about Parks or Recs this month? Seeing or hearing none, we'll move on then again. And so we're on to the cemetery committee update. We have been working feverishly. We meet again this Friday. And we have been going through the process, myself, Jim Osling, and Doug Kale, our new custodian slash sexton, who is a retired funeral director. So it's very wonderful. He's a retired funeral director, and I was in cemetery memorial business for 41 years. And Jim has a masterful approach at all his paperwork with mapping and things, and we've done really cool things. With that being said, we earlier in the year had received, of course, subcontractor increases to our fees. And so we do and did a cemetery fee schedule and an adjustment for a proposal this month. That currently every funeral that we've been having, there's increased cost to, and our fees have not gone up. So we've included all of those things, and also made dovetail with this potential new ordinance that we'll have. So everything fits together. We meet on Friday to look over specifically the melded together ordinance that we put together from various different documents. Still has to get out of our cemetery committee discussions, make sure that that's what we want to send to our legal. And so that's kind of where that's at. But for today, we are looking to get an approval that would be effective immediately tomorrow. Tuesday is fine. Michelle put together in the packet the January of 26 revision that was there, that had been kind of picked, I call it picked at, and maybe it increased a little here or there, to the current one that you'll see August 1st is the revision date up there for our proposals. We've clarified some language in it to make it easier for our office staff to understand what exactly that means. Some of the earlier languages was a little bit, I guess, open to interpretation, and I think our office staff in the past may have just openly interpreted. I don't know. But there seems to be specific questions that have come up. So the question becomes, board, do you want to sit on this for one more month? Do you want to come back in September? Have you had enough time, do you think, with it? To compare and contrast? What's your pleasure?
I'm good with it. You guys did your due diligence.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, unless you feel uncomfortable with it or have.
No, I think the committee's been through it pretty well, about 3 times, and it's come back and we've taken another look at it, and I don't know, it's perfect, but I think it's a good losing money. Yes. I don't know why we should wait.
Is anybody else?
I think we put it on next week.
Agree. Yep, I agree.
Yep. Motion to.
So the only thing I have to clarify is that we are going to keep Saturdays as an option. We've just increased the price to accommodate that is correct.
That is correct. Yep. And Monday through Friday after 2, there is an additional cost as well.
Are we going to put a time frame on that Saturday hours?
That's just what I was looking at.
I think we should, like before, I don't know. I think we need to put a time on that Saturday deal. Just like you do your Monday through
10
Friday before 2,
Saturday 10 to 2 and
something.
Saturday 10 to 2, and after that, the extra cost. I'm not opposed to any of that. approve, Jim, you want me to make that adjustment or do you want to make it on the form?
You've got this Word file or do?
I did, I have it as, it's version C. I did send
But
it
it's
back.
not a PDF. It's a, if you've got it, go ahead and make the change.
It's an Excel, I think, what it was.
Oh, maybe,
wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I'll grab a hold of C and I'll put Saturday 10 to 2. Are we comfortable with
Yeah.
that?
Yep. And then you'll be done
That
with
way
it.
we can approve it as presented and have it available. A motion to approve the area schedule. Effective immediately, correct?
Right.
Can you use the date of 8/1 at the top of the page? We had activities since then.
No, because we have had activity since then.
So
We'll have to make it effective the date of the meeting.
The
because We
meeting.
have had,
So that
that is
have-
August, what, 11th?
change that 8/1 to 8.
It's the 11th, I think, isn't Tuesday?
No,
Huh?
yeah, you're right.
11th? All right. I'll make those appropriate changes and have them for your board packets. And we can have a few put out, I think, probably Michelle out on the table for the public as well.
Okay.
On this. Everybody should be aware that our columbarium niches, I think we're down to what? 10 spaces.
Yes.
We're down to, before that won't be completely full.
Well, even with these increases, we are not getting rich, that's for sure.
Oh,
There's no way that, there's money
No.
coming from elsewhere to keep this thing going.
So let me make myself a note here to adjust this.
Mel, and if we were to ever look at doing anything more, like for the niches and that, like to build it for the future, you could not do anything even comparable for this kind of pricing.
No.
No way.
Not even close.
Would never happen again.
I think some of the downstate places are 6,000.
Oh, it is.
It's just insane.
Absolutely.
We're still, pretty low.
We are.
And those niches, like we found with the cemetery lots, when we looked, where money was not being apportioned off for tomorrow. So there's no tomorrow money that was generated off of
That's my biggest concern is
sales.
having money prospectively that
Yes,
maintain that after.
What we
it's
have,
done
yeah.
yes,
Saturated.
yes, yeah. Okay, very good. We'll move on then if you guys are happy with moving on. I did receive a letter of resignation, of intended resignation. He's going to finish his term. Jerry McReynolds, who has served our board review for a great many years. And he intends to be done. It's effective December 31st of 2026. I would like to place on Tuesdays the formal acceptance of that, as we will then need to, in the coming months, Steve is out in the audience, Steve Trudeau. He's our current alternate. Did talk to him. He's willing to move into a regular position, so we'll be looking for an alternate after the December 31st. And so we'll have to get that on the agenda in the next couple months if we can find a individual to serve in that capacity as an alternate on the board of review. So board members, keep your eyes open, peeled, whatever. We are losing a lifetime banker, is what he was, which is a very good discipline to have when you're in a board of review as well. And so be thinking, and if anybody has any ideas or otherwise, if not, we'll have to throw it out there and see if we get anybody to bite on that. So are you okay with us accepting that Tuesday?
Yep.
Yep. To accept. MC intent to resign. He's been here so long, it's almost a retirement. From board of review, BOR 12/1/26. Our assessor is also aware of that. Okay, Any questions? I want to move on. Are you ready? All right, very good. All right, we're now on to the building and zoning assistant. As you're all aware, Mary Ann has left us retired. We are looking for a way to manage that office staff in the most effective way possible. And we did hire, and our new gal is out there, day 2, Sabrina Wilkes. And with that, we have always had the additional individual, which covered a lot of the long-term employee time off, earned vacation, sick times, those things. And so Cindy Ostrowski would come in and fill that position. And currently she's still working in that position in a very part-time way, And so during the process of this, as you recall, I sent you all the building and zoning assistant position job description. We approved it. And I've been made aware that Cindy Ostrowski, our well-known employee here, is interested in that position. It is no more than 24 hours a week. She will work underneath Jason Jansen and work her hourly structures for Jason as well. She's been a great employee since she was hired here. And I personally don't see any reason why we wouldn't take advantage of her offer to seat her in that position and let operationally, let Jason and decide when that comes together. Thoughts?
Yeah.
All in.
Thankful.
Yes.
Yep.
Are we okay to ask for a motion here to approve?
On Tuesday.
Okay,
With the understanding that that transition will take place when that office is ready for that to take place, meaning,
it's operational.
Mhm.
Yes. I think they can determine when that.
right, we're all on the same page. We are all on.
The only thing that I'm concerned of is I know she's already starting to do those kind of work and she's not getting the pay that job would get. This would be a slight raise in pay than her current part-time front office look.
Okay.
And so I don't want to withhold money
No.
from her. I would like to say immediately,
Okay.
and that way at least she's being paid appropriately.
Okay,
Because right now she's working and doing a
that one, right,
fabulous job.
absolutely.
And
Well, and she's helping to train our new
And she's
person in the
helping-
receptionist
yeah.
position, so absolutely have no problem with the pay increase.
All right, so then we're gonna go ahead and do this as an immediate assistant zoning. The immediate then would allow us to cycle or pay appropriate for what she's actually doing. You guys comfortable with that?
Yep.
Okay. Effective immediately. Now, that covers for the pay issue, and then they can cycle operationally how it best molds together, especially with the new person in the office. It'll help us reseat that situation. All right, very good. Thank you. I will make sure we get a motion there for that. Number 10, Higgins Lake Foundation, grant application, Sovereign Park Neighborhood Demo Map Project. Jim.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, maybe 4 or 5 months anyway. And I proposed to the septic committee, proposed to the steering committee that they endorse the notion of putting together a map, an engineering quality map of the Sovereign Park area for demonstration purposes. And this is a map that would incorporate the LiDAR data that is currently available. It's been shot with GLUA and sitting in Felice and Vanderbrink's office, and meld that with the actual survey work that's been done for that purpose. And with the two of those brought together, they'll create an engineering quality map that will show all of the improvements, all the buildings, the sheds, the roads, and the terrain, and wells and septic that are available will show up. Some of those won't be available. It'll take some boots on the ground to locate those, and that's a bit down the road. But we'll get everything on this map that shows where everything's located in Sovereign Park. We'll also include the layers of soils that are down underneath that, and this map will be such that you can rotate it and have a look at these soils that are underneath, and where the clay is and where the gravels are, and they'll help with the groundwater committee to see, and well, people to understand what happens to the groundwater when it percolates down through the earth and then hits these clay layers and then rounds its way out into the lake. We'll incorporate testing as time goes on in the lake as to what we're finding out there, and hopefully draw some conclusions that there's either issues or there's not. Either way, I mean, that's what we want to know. And this map will be it's a typical area. It's a 130 acres. It's a old subdivision, one of the oldest on the lake, 1932s or threes when it was first platted, twos or 2000 or 1907 maybe. And so there's been houses in there from the 20s and the 30s, and septic tanks from, way back. And we have data to know where these septic tanks, or what the health department knows about these septics. And we'll be able to show that on there, and where we need to gather more information. Anyway, this map is something that the septic committee has felt would be a good tool. The steering committee also felt was a good tool, and suggested that I go forward with finding funding for it. I talked to the Higgins Lake Foundation about the idea, and this is exactly the kind of a project that they like to be involved in. It's a defined project. It's got a beginning and an end. It's got a specific amount. It's got something that you can put up on the wall and see. It checks all the boxes for the foundation. So they're very interested in it. They suggested I put together a grant application, which you have, and get a signature to that, which we'll be looking for today, and then get that off to their meeting, which is next Monday. And to get this, we're asking for $10,000 from them to do this map, and and keep moving on this. So, is that a surprise about getting a signature today to you or not? Did we talk about that? Did you want to wait till Tuesday on it? Because
I don't know what your timeline, I mean, I know what the timeline in the grant app says, but what we would need is an authorization for me or you, well, let's see, you're the project.
Well, take your signature. It wants your signature.
My signature and so we would need a motion to authorize me to sign this grant application.
Yeah.
Whether it's today or whether it would be Tuesday. So I guess that's really what is your request as our liaison.
This steps outside of what we can do. I'd like to get a signature today so that I can take it to the meeting on Monday. I'm going to the meeting on Monday to do this presentation for sure. And I can, if we can't get a signature today, I can make the presentation pending a signature on Tuesday or Wednesday.
I think it would probably be more powerful that we have actually that's signed myself when you go do that presentation.
I don't have a problem with.
You guys have been talking about this for quite some time, and I in the grant application, the why the Sovereign Park piece is just it's powerful. Quite literally, the health department has no wastewater records for nearly half of the properties.
Yeah.
Of the 168 properties with records, only about 50 have been inspected since the current 1997 health code. 10% rely on dry wells, discharging effluent into a roughly 20 square foot area rather than a compliant drain field of about 330 square feet. Only 60 properties, 35% have a drain field meeting the square footage requirement. And so I think this is exactly the demonstrative thing that I heard a lot of people say wasn't there at all to look at during all of discussion of fluent going into the lake, even back in the Glua days.
I look
and
at
not
this-
to meant this. Certainly this is not meant to indict Sovereign Park area.
No, I
It's
gotta be
to
really careful about
understand
that.
it.
That's not what we're,
Yeah,
that's not at all what we're looking for.
So
But it also, I think, is we're saying that it's Sovereign Park is the first one. And if it turns out half as good as I hope it does, then, we've already identified a couple others that would be,
sure.
that have a little bit different conditions. So over on the southwest corner near the marina area, the topography is different.
Mhm.
And the hill goes up steeper and it's not as old. I'm thinking of the Supreme View Sunrise Heights area.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe that would be a good spot to do another one, or as time goes on, if these work out well, we'll kind of get an idea of what's involved in getting them done, and maybe do 3 or 4 of them around the lake and give us some, real good data that we can work with and demonstration maps we can use. So
Yeah, no, I personally myself, I have no issue. This is not like a new discussion about Sovereign Park, the maps, so, and incorporating, getting something that is demonstrative in nature. Right now, all these committees have been meeting very diligently, very, very smart people. And for one, I'm going to be happy to see 2 maps. One that Ed's been working on,
Mhm.
and the other one would be whatever this might bear
I was
fruit
gonna
in.
say something similar, I don't have to be a expert or have a PhD, but you look at the density maps that Ed's been working on, it becomes logical to take that one of those areas and study it.
Mhm.
And that's what you're doing. So I applaud you, and I have no problem making a motion to authorize you to sign that today.
Okay. Board members,
In here.
all right, at this point, then I would entertain a motion.
That was it.
That was so moved. I will support that motion.
All right, very good. Then I won't repeat it if everybody's clear on it, to authorize me to sign it. And I'll do that, Jim, right after the meeting.
Okay.
So that you have that in your hip pocket when you go make this presentation, and we wish you the best of luck with it. And as we all know, funding is where it's going to ultimately lie, and so it's great if we, one of the foundation and other people can help out. Wonderful. So we have a motion on the floor. We have a second. We have any further discussion, board? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. As a side note for the public, because you're not looking at what I'm looking at right now, it's a $10,000 request for the total project costs, and the date of the project would be anticipated August 15th to December 31st of 26 yet. So relevant, timely data. Is there anything else that I might be missing there? I don't think there is. Strictly a demonstration map. So there you go, sir. You have that. I
Right.
will sign
Thank
that right after the meeting. Board, any other questions about that?
thank you all.
Thanks for all you're doing, Jim.
I tell you.
Thank you.
Number 11, the good news is we got a township audit already back in our building. And Jim, you want to give us a brief, and then I would certainly ask that we would accept the audit. It's at our Tuesday meeting. as
yeah,
required. So.
I'm not gonna make
Nope.
you go through the pages. I've kind of hit some highlights of my own. I
Yep.
guess the first thing is that the audit was completed a month ago, field work, and the report was issued Monday, I think, is when he brought the hard copies. I had already gotten a digital copy the prior week. Um, the auditor's report is an unmodified opinion, which means that there was no exceptions found in the audit that would require them to qualify the opinion because something's missing or something's incorrect. So in Tyler's viewpoint, what he reported in here off of our numbers is materially correct without any exception. The financial part of it, we've already kind of went over all this, so I'm not really gonna go number by number, but I will say that the four funds, the main ones that all have tax and special assessments in them, being the general fire, police, and sanitation, they all are sitting at the end of the year within the fund balance policy that we had adopted. So we're already setting in within the guidelines of what we established. The only real audit adjustments that Tyler made was, the thing about auditing is you come in several months after the fact, so you have a better 2020 vision on things. And there were some accruals that I wasn't able to make or was unknown because at the time when I'm closing out in April, I'm basing it on what information I have on that date. One of them was state revenue sharing. I went online and looked at what the expected payment was going to be in May. And then sometime between that point and the actual check being cut, the state changed the dollar amount. So we had to adjust the accrual. All minor stuff. The other thing that's I noticed, or somebody that's informed that might read this, starting this year, audits, when they prepare a financial statement with the budget to actual, it used to be they'd show the original budget, the final amended budget, actual numbers, and then the variance. Well, now they're required to report the original budget, the final amended budget, and a column showing the variance between the beginning and what you started with and what the final amended budget was, and then still the actual to the, and what that does is allow somebody to see how many adjustments and how big a dollar amounts did you adjust during the year. So it kind of indicates the efficiency or the accuracy of the board as far as how they budget. Because what's happened is a lot of municipalities throw numbers on the wall and it's whatever sticks is what they start with, and then we'll adjust it later. So the larger the variance in there, it means the less accurate they were when they started their budget. And the nice thing, when you look at ours, the variances in that area are very small this year. When I started, a year and a half ago, and I was assisting, we made some big adjustments because you started off with some not as accurate numbers. So right now, when you look at the audit report, it doesn't show that. That's one of the things that stuck out to me when I was going through the report. The other thing on the back of the audit, there's a communication with those charged with governance. Basically, it used to be called the management letter. And in that letter, she list out all the potential, not necessarily major things, but even little things that require improvement. And his letter doesn't have anything in there in that area, which means that, we talked about a few minor things, but there's nothing that came out of the audit that requires us to change procedures as far as from a financial standpoint. So that's it in a nutshell. Good reading material if you want to get a good night's sleep before you get to bed. But other than that, it's pretty routine. But I'd be happy to answer any questions if somebody gets looking at this, or we can have Tyler come in here and present it. I just didn't think it was necessary, but either or.
Plus he charges for that.
Well, the other thing too is part of doing the audit You also have to file what's called an F-65. It's a census report. When I was doing the audits back then, I always did as part of the audit. Tyler would too, but because I work here, I did it. So we didn't have to pay somebody else to do it. So that saved us some money and all the
Pay
other.
increase?
Huh?
Looking for a pay increase?
No, I'm just saying it's done. It saved you money.
We
is what I'm
appreciate
saying.
that.
God
Jim.
bless you. We
When you
appreciate
look at the bill for the audit and you compare it to some of your neighboring townships,
Amen.
you're gonna see ours is several thousand
Yeah.
dollars cheaper. So,
Well,
anyways, everything's filed. This is all done at the state, and you can look at any township or governmental entity on the state of Michigan website. So if you want to compare us to other places or look up something or historically, it's all there.
When does that audit do?
That has to be done by September 30th. So we're way ahead.
we're way ahead.
We closed the books out by the 1st of May. We were closed out
Ready.
and ready for the audit, actually. Which
Yeah, which
is not, so he
got tied
just
up
let
with
him
the
pick the
county,
date
yeah.
when he wanted to do it, but,
I'm proud of this audit.
yeah, and we did all of our own accruals.
I'm gonna say I'm proud of it because it reflects the work that we have done to get, shall I say, everything where it needs to be.
Yeah.
For a clear picture of the township's finances. And I started in April of 24 and I'm proud of this because it means our work is successful and
It's my
we are-
intent when
we are
I-
where we need to be.
Yeah, and it's my intent when I leave that Mary will have all the templates that I've been using and know how to use them. So that you'll continue to do your own accruals and so she's doing a good job and she's learning. So this is hopefully will continue on. It's not going to be dependent on my presence here.
Yep.
The intent.
Well, that's the goal for all of us, to leave good succession for others, to set them up to be successful. All right, that concludes. I'll put a motion together there to accept the audit as presented for Tuesday night. I have 8 items that will be agended for Tuesday night for motions and for our agenda. So that concludes that portion. I will open it up to public comments inside the room first. Come on up. Thanks for getting up and being with us.
Yeah, I just want to give you a little bit of information kind of from the community. So we did have 2 deputy directors from the DNR here on July 23rd and 24th. And honestly, I thought it was a terrific meeting. We were trying to cover things that had to do with invasive species and swimmer's itch, and also just general information about the parks. And I thought all that went fairly well. Some of the more interesting things that came out were in the casual conversation where we found out some things that I thought were, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. I thought there was some misleading information in the DNR, and we hopefully got a chance to straighten some of it out, but I think it's going to take a lot bigger effort. And a lot of that has to do with what's going on with swimmer's itch. We are seeing terrifically more cases right now than we have in the past. Some more recently from the state parks, which I think might help our arguments a little bit with what we need them to do. But I just wanted to let you know that that meeting went well, and there were actually Shannon Lott and another woman named, I believe, Christian Phillips were both deputy directors of the DNR, and they both were here for about 3 hours, and all that came out pretty well. The other thing I wanted to mention was we have in case anybody's interested, we have a couple things scheduled. One is a swimmer's itch dinner fundraiser is on the 13th. It's a week from today. Excuse me, today.
Yeah, speak up, Greg.
Yeah, the dinner's fundraising dinner is on August 13th for the HLSIO.
Okay.
And there's going to be the Higgins Lake Political Action Committee is sponsoring a fundraiser for Ken Borton on August 20th. And Ken Borton has been extremely helpful in getting us to be able to work with different people within the DNR. So as an area in a community, I think we owe him a little bit here, and I'm happy that he's coming again. Um, that's really all I wanted to talk about. But if there's any questions about any of that stuff, I could answer some stuff about Swimmer's Itch probably more than the other.
The I know Swimmers Itch is a big deal. I mean, it's a comeback and with a vengeance. But I've talked to people that said, "Man, I haven't seen anything of it." And well, where are you swimming? And where are you? Or what is there? Is it localized to where it's really intense, and other areas is not? Or what? Or are
Yeah.
people? Some
We-
people just don't.
We've
aren't
actually
firefighters.
tried to study that to see if there were things like hot spots, and I do think there are, but I don't think we know exactly why. And some of it might just be the position on the lake and the water depth or things like that that make the water more active, because the snails themselves may not want to live in certain environments, and that may be the problem. I had someone, when I was the head of the Swimmers Edge organization, I had someone once tell me that they never saw more stagnicola snails in any one place than Higgins Lake.
Yeah.
So that's really the problem. And although the snail population itself kind of comes and goes, it's just a matter of where they are. And those, they can release 10,000 parasites a day if they're infected.
Mm-hmm.
And they get moved around by the wind and the water. And depending on which way all that's going and how long the little parasites live, and it's not that long, but while they're alive, if somebody's, especially, it seems like the people that are most commonly caught by those things are like 10-year-old kids.
Yep.
I mean,
Sunk in.
and we ask people to send in pictures this year too. And the
Was there
pictures,
any information that was helpful in the dives that the HLPOA did? That was
I don't know that there was anything that can be used as far as further information for what's going on with Swimmer's Edge.
Mhm.
I mean, and maybe there would be. I mean, my understanding is that these original dives were to form a baseline. So if there's changes, but I don't really know that there are. We have done snail studies every year for the last decade. So we have an idea about how many there are and how many are
the
infected.
parasite live in deeper, colder water or
Usually more shallow.
shallow? Warm?
Yeah, because that's where the snails are. The parasites don't they don't live in the deep water because the snails live in the shallow water, and so you don't get them. We still get reports of people that say they bounced around in different places of the lake, but for the most part, it's in the shallow area that people
It's
are
where the
getting.
kids play.
Yeah,
Right in that shallow area. It's warmer than most.
and the warm water contributes to that.
Has to, yeah.
Yeah, and just the fact that more people are in the water. I mean, we had a couple of pretty good weather days there, and so more people were in the lake.
Where does Higgins Lake compare to 5 other lakes in northern Michigan with the Swimmer's Itch?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because we're most closely associated with Crystal Lake, and we talk to them all the time. Crystal Lake has the same problems we do, and when their ability to relocate ducks was pulled back, they had the same problems increase, probably more than us. There are some other lakes that have given up on relocation, and the reason is because they've been given misleading information. And some of that's filtered to the DNR. So that's distressing, honestly. But it was just when we were able to relocate ducks, we got rid of it for the most part.
But our block is not at the local state.
It wasn't this
Not
year.
Local, but the state DNR.
It wasn't this year. It was with the Fish and
It's
Wildlife.
feds, U.S. Fish and Wildlife,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Now, so here's some other things we found out. So there's going to be a meeting that Shannon Lott will be attending in late August with the Fish and Wildlife people, and they're going to be discussing this stuff. And supposedly, and we didn't even know there was such a thing, right? And there's supposed to be another meeting, I think, between September 10th and 15th. So we've asked her to represent our position about that.
Is she willing?
I think the answer is yes, but I think that she also operates with some misleading information that's been out there from other locations, and that's hurting us a little. I think it's more clear to me now that that's part of what the problem is. There are people that are trying to say that relocation doesn't work, and it does.
We heard that before.
Yeah, but apparently those people are getting to the people who are decision makers in the Fish and Wildlife.
So are they shooting their ducks or?
They're not doing anything.
Okay, so
They're-
that's where you're not into what we had here before, which was shoot the ducks versus relocating. the
Yeah,
ducks.
there are some other devices that are sold to try to help with swimmer's itch, but they're not things that at Higgins Lake we would think would be useful.
Right. Right.
So in any case,
This meeting, is that supposed to be like an open meeting? Where
I
she's
think
going to
not.
Washington, or where is it?
Well,
You know?
I don't know exactly how the meeting will be conducted. My guess is it's probably a Zoom meeting because the people in the Fish and Wildlife are in Minnesota.
Invitation only Zoom meeting?
Yeah. And I'd like to get invited to that,
That'd be nice.
but I don't think that'll happen.
Can Mr. Borton help us on that?
I'm going to ask him.
And Kenny, do you want us
How
to
does
call
the
too?
Bergman get involved? I mean, if
Well,
it's to the feds, you gotta go to the.
That was another kind of distressing situation. Is so we got to Jack Bergman's office fairly quickly. Actually, Susan did that because she'd been involved with stuff with glue
Right.
over, talked to their office. And we talked to the person that she talked to before, and he's always seemed to be an upfront guy named Colin Gwillem.
Mm-hmm.
And he made two separate inquiries about 2 weeks apart and never got a response. Then we talked to Alyssa Slotkin's office,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked to someone there named Tom Bratton, and he was very familiar with Northern Michigan.
Yep.
And he made 2 inquiries and never got a response. So, and then we have someone that works within our Swimmers Itch committee who had worked in federal agencies before and said, when you got questions from these kind of people, you dropped everything and answered the question. So she was really surprised that they didn't answer. And then we found another response from someone who said that the internal chaos within the Fish and Wildlife Department led to nobody was responsible for responding, so nobody did. And they think they have a better liaison now. But we really lost the opportunity to get the permitting that we needed this summer because we couldn't get anybody to answer our question.
Deadline for next year
starts now.
Right.
And I think these meetings that are in August and then in September are pretty important to all that. So, yeah. And again, I'm not the person who's in charge of Swimmer's Itch right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to pull levers as easily, but I
Mhm.
think it'll be something that we'll talk about and see about what we can do with these other meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And I can also tell you that I'm talking to the people at Crystal Lake who Shannon Lott told us that she thought Crystal Lake decided relocation didn't work. Not true. So I'm not sure where she got that information from. It also seemed funny to me that they were applying for permits to relocate birds this year. So if they thought it didn't work, I'm kind of surprised that they would have been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm talking to those people and I'm going to try to get them on board with information that will supply to
I
people.
appreciate the effort, that's for sure.
I have one more stupid question. If the swimmer jets that exist in the lake today, with the parasites that are there, they go through the winter cycle. Does it start at 0 with new snails, or does that parasite last through the winter and you start at some increased number going into next year?
One of the research projects that we had was how long it takes new ducks to get infected. The big problem is the ducklings. For some reason, they are infected more easily, and then they send out more parasites. So what we found early in the season, before there were broods on the lake, what we found was creating parasites, swimmer's itch parasites at that point, were snails that survived the winter that were affected. Then this year's batch of snails that get infected probably don't get infected until maybe 3 or 4 weeks after ducklings appear on the lake, which might be sometime in June or July. So right now we're getting all the new snails and we're getting whatever snails wintered to create the parasites. So, and that's why, the permitting and year in and year out, I mean, we basically got rid of all that stuff. We took the cycle to nothing. And so maybe there were some birds that were migrating that would infect parasites or something, but that's why we got rid of it. But now that we've 2 years in a row, last 2, it's back. And there are 2 years worth of snails are out there doing that.
That's makes no sense, right?
And some of the people's responses, we have people write in and talk reporting cases. Their responses are pretty dramatically disappointing.
Sure.
So that's one of the things we've been trying to fight all along, and we're back to where we're not winning the war.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
Yep. Appreciate the information. Anybody else in the audience? Anybody on Zoom? Nobody on Zoom. We'll go with board final comments then. Mary Jo.
Nope, I think all's good.
Okay. Michelle.
Election's over. All the proposals passed. We ended up having 1,203 voters total. Is that- I don't know. I got nothing else. Everybody said we got everything going on this weekend.
Yes. Jim.
I just wanted to say congratulations to all those that had ballot proposals that passed handsomely. So that's a good sign for the community, a very good sign. So, and hope to see as many as we can at celebrate Higgins Lake over the weekend. So that's it.
Jim.
Kudos to the elections as well. I was concerned about the road one, and I was pretty confident that 9/11 and the road patrol was gonna pass, but the other one, I had real concerns. I'm glad people saw the value in that. The only thing I could think of, obviously we got taxes, we're collecting, the plan commission meeting next Tuesday is gonna be during the day. It's at 1 o'clock in here. And we have the health department coming in and talking, to the planning commission about the septic ordinance. Plus, we're wrapping up the master plan second draft, second or third revisions. We're getting close to the point of having it to put to this board. And then they go through the process of us looking at it and public comments. There's a time period where that'll have to take place. We're still sort of on track to have that wrapped up by December. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We lost the lead person for McKenna that was our consultant. Or we still have McKenna, but Jane has taken another position. I don't know if that's necessarily going to set us back, but it's definitely not helping us get forward quicker. But my viewpoint on it, I don't care if it's done in December, if it's done in February. I want it done right. That's what I might be pointing. You're on that same.
What last best effort, not first.
That's what
Mark Jarsky.
Jarsky's coming.
I forgot to mention that in my piece, that Taylor Irwin, most of you may or may not know, but she has taken another job
Yeah.
at the health department. So she's moved on, but Mark Jarsky will be here. I have a call with him this afternoon to a little pre-call.
The idea is that when we work on that septic ordinance, that we do it hand in hand with the health department. There's some decisions that are going to have to be made, and recommendation from the planning commission, and whether this board, how far beyond their standards if we want to go, and then how that would be dealt with cost wise. And so I think that's one of the issues, and we're still juggling around your version and Tom's version he got out of Torch Lake, and how that'll work. And we're trying to do this in tandem with the planning commission with the master plan. And so both of them are huge undertakings at this point, and it's really hard to cover both in one meeting. So we'll see how we do on Tuesday, but I'm
Tuesday meeting is a full, you're going to talk about both issues, both the master plan and
I believe, yeah,
Yeah.
the master plan's gonna be on there, but, so, yeah, the reason we set that meeting for Tuesday was to meet some of the deadlines, so we could keep moving forward with the master plan.
You see
But-
the agenda yet to know which is?
I just got an email from Tom this morning.
Okay.
Did you? I think the agenda's in there. Yeah, because Emily said that she was gonna send us the new master plan couple days ago, and I hadn't gotten it, but that showed up yesterday or last night, so, we're moving forward. It's I'm encouraged by having the health department there, because I really think that we have to work it with them, not try to run our own little game off on the side, because I just think that is going down the wrong road. But we'll see how it goes. That's it.
Yeah, I'll limit my comment on that. I'll just, yeah. Okay, so for me, I just wanted to put out the final cemetery well certification was received from Central Michigan Health Department. So all that final work is done on that. The marina camera project is should be coming up here real soon. We had to straighten out a parts issue involving a camera proposed that apparently was very slow to get. And so we're continuing on that. I hope to get that accomplished here in August. For that, all of the parts and the stuff are on order, still waiting for a couple things for the furnace AC replacements here in this building. So those projects continue on top of my desk, waiting for others, if you will. And so we'll just continue plodding along. And I don't think I have anything else other than the same thing everybody else does. So there's all kinds of activities. If you don't go to any of them, I guess you reserve the right to say that when people say nothing's going on in your community, apparently you're not awake, because there's plenty going on to try and split and clone yourself to get to different things on that. And so Health of Higgins Lake, I strongly encourage board members, anybody get over there, take a look. These people are putting in a lot of hard work. I still feel very well informed, even though I'm not on a committee. Jim keeps me very informed on the processes and those kinds of things, as well as I'm always open and have heard from other people that are on some of the other committees. I appreciate their discussions, but I, like any other citizen, am waiting to hear and see true data, and, I'm going to let the experts do their thing, because I'm not an expert. Over and above that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 10:32.
So move.
Moved by Treasurer Anderson. Support
I'll support that.
by Trustee Hoppy. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
I.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Thank you.